Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is video series 3, part 2. In a new philosophy series, the mankind and the human society are two different things. The behaviors of the mankind are governed by its four original wills. The behaviors of the human society are governed by its four social wills. Everyone in the society has these two types of wills. Everyone have therefore these two types of behaviors. In part 5 of series 1, I have shared with you some highlight on the four original wills of the mankind and the four social wills of the human society. In this part, I would like to repeat a few slides there first. In a new philosophy series, the mankind and the human society are two different things, each with its own basic properties, being governed with their own four wills. The mankind is what we really are. As shown in the left, the mankind doesn't have any purpose. The mankind has its own basic properties being governed by its four original wills. The four original wills of the mankind are inherited and developed from the four wills of living beings and the four wills of the universe. They drive increase in diversity. The four wills of living beings drive also increase in diversity. It means that the original wills of the mankind and the wills of the living beings drive for the same trend. On the other hand, the human society is what we intend to be. As shown in the right, the human society does have purpose. The human society has its own basic properties being governed by its four social wills. The four social wills of the human society are created by the human society to increase the social efficiency and social stability of the human society. They drive decrease in diversity. The four wills of the universe drive also decrease in diversity. It means that the social wills of the human society and the wills of the universe drive for the same trend, namely decrease in diversity, or the trend towards the death. I don't know whether this is a coincidence or something very fundamental, but I think it's wrong. There's no reason to push ourselves to extinction. These slides summarize the wills of the mankind and the human society. On the left is the list of the features of the four original wills of the mankind. The four original wills are the original will of individual happiness in quadrant 1, the original will of individual efficiency in quadrant 2, the original will of group efficiency in quadrant 3, the original will of group disaster in quadrant 4. On the right side is the list of the features of the four social wills of the human society. The four social wills are the will of virtual individual happiness in quadrant 1, the will of virtual individual efficiency in quadrant 2, the social will of group efficiency in quadrant 3, and the social will of group disaster in quadrant 4. One should be extremely careful with words in these two feature lists. The words in the list are popular words in the society. They have been given many different meanings. To reduce the chance of misunderstanding, I linked every feature in the list to a certain human behaviors in my book. If you would like to use the features in these two lists, you could read my book, The Principles of the Universe, and the book, The Three Categories of Human Behaviors. Here are some key properties of the original wills of the mankind. First of all, the four original wills of the mankind are reasonably balanced. This is because it is inherited from the living beings. They have a kind of self-balancing power. One of the consequences is that the features of the four original wills are finity. The original will of individual happiness and the original will of individual efficiency are responsible for the happiness, love, and creativity of everyone. The original will of individual happiness is responsible for keeping everyone energetic. The original will of individual efficiency is mainly responsible for self-development of everyone. I call this will also as the will of moving up. A unique property of the original will of the individual efficiency is that it can only be excited and fully utilized in a challenging and competitive environment. This property is the common property of the will of individual efficiency of the mankind and that of living beings. This property plays a key role in the evolution of living beings. Here are some key properties of the social wills of the human society. One very important thing is that in the social wills of the human society, the original individualism of the mankind is replaced by virtual individualism. Therefore, we must be very careful with the word individualism. Individualism is a very popular word in today's society, but in many cases it really means virtual individualism. You can see the difference between the individualism and the virtual individualism from one's behaviors. The social will of group efficiency is the lead of other three social wills of the human society. The will of virtual individual happiness and the will of virtual individual efficiency are two special representations of the social will of group efficiency. The social will of group disaster is the consequences of the social will of group efficiency. Because of this, The four social wills are not balanced at all. They don't have self-balancing power. This has some far-reaching consequences for the human society. For instance, the features of the four social wills could be infinity. We should also keep in mind that the social wills suppress original wills. On the other hand, the operation of the modern society is based on the four social wills. Everyone in the modern society has in different degrees the four original wills and the four social wills. The four original wills of everyone is inherited from one's parent via DNA. They are reasonably stable for everyone. On the other hand, everyone learns the four social wills from the society in his or her lifetime. Therefore, they are unstable for everyone. When someone accepted the social wills, his or her original will is automatically suppressed. The more social wills one accepted, the more his or her original will is suppressed. This has some big consequences. For instance, someone who made some social achievement may feel satisfied, but also paid a price of losing part of his or her original love, happiness, and creativity. I discussed this kind of phenomena in my books. As you may know, psychology plays a more and more important role in the society and in the operation of states today. As I explained earlier, the four original wills and the four social wills have set a zero reference for the social sciences, also for psychology. For example, the inner conflict is the basic assumption in psychology to explain some abnormal behaviors of an individual in society. In the new philosophy theory, the inner conflict in the psychology is the conflict between the original wills and the social wills that an individual has. One of the challenges for the psychologist is to explain the big difference in behaviors of some people between private and public occasions. Psychologists use group psychology to describe certain behaviors of people in public occasions. In a new philosophy theory, the group psychology is dominated by the social wills that the people in the group have. In the new state theory, the behaviors of all individuals in the states are classified in accordance with the original wills and the social wills that the individuals have. The relation between the two types of behaviors are well defined. This means that the new state theory contains accurate psychological descriptions of the people in the states. The operation of a state is governed by the four social wills of the human society. In this section, I would like to share with you some highlight on the functioning of the four social wills in the states. The original wills that everyone has is different in both characteristics and strengths. Similarly, the degree of difficulty that everyone has in accepting the social wills is also different. I made a simple model in my book to illustrate the differences. I used a threshold in an arbitrary unit in the model to describe the difficulty of someone to accept the social wills. The threshold of everyone in the states accept the social wills is different. The distribution of the threshold of all the members in the states has a Gaussian form. See on the drawing. This model tells us some very important property of the states. First, the threshold of the majority in the states are close to the average. These people are the majority in the states. On the drawing, you see a small group of people in the states have a very high threshold. They are the creators in the states, such as artists and scientists. They refuse in some degrees to accept social wills. You see a small group of people in the states who have a very low threshold. They are the social elite in the states, such as politicians and administrators. They love social wills. They want also other people to get more social wills. I should mention one point, that the position of everyone in the distribution is dynamic. If there's no strong suppression in the states, the threshold of everyone in the states could change almost instantly. For instance, a creator or normal people could become suddenly a politician, or a politician could suddenly get out of politics to have a normal life. In every state or social community, the majority has some degree of social wills. The social elite, such as politicians or organizers, have a high degree of social wills. The creators, such as artists and scientists, have a low degree of social will. One should always keep in mind that the original wills of everyone are automatically suppressed by the social wills he or she has. It means that the majority of the states lost a part of their original wills. The social elite lost much of their original wills. The creators kept most of their original wills. These have some personal consequences. First, the majority in the states enjoys their life and are happy, even their life could be less comfortable, but they could become unsatisfactory. Second, the social elite enjoyed their social status and social powers. They may become satisfactory, but this is at the expense of their happiness, love, and creativity. Third, the creators enjoy their happiness from their creativity. They may be seen as strangers or outsiders in the state. Other people don't understand why they are so happy. Every state needs a social wealth in certain degree for two purposes. First, to increase the social efficiency and social stability of the state. Second, to excite the will of individual efficiency of everyone in the state. The second point may be strange and needs a few explanations. As I explained in the video series 2, the will of individual efficiency drives self-learning, self-development, and resource efficiency. The four original wills of the human being are reasonably balanced, but the will of individual efficiency of a human being needs to be excited by its environment. A state could use the social wills to create a challenging and competitive environment to excite the will of individual efficiency of its members. But this should be very careful because excessive usage of social will would suppress the will of individual efficiency too. Every state needs some people with strong social wills. First, to create certain social wills by those people. Second, to organize the state's affairs or the social affairs in the states. One should always keep in mind the drawbacks of the social wills in the states. For instance, it can suppress the original will of everyone, reduce one's love, happiness, and creativity. It could easily damage the basic interest of the states and the individuals. It could easily damage the basic interest of other states. It could easily damage the environment. The social wills can cause damages of various degrees. This is mainly because of the domination of the social will of group efficiency and the lack of self-balance power. The usage of social wills in the states must be selective. In the previous part of this video series, I have listed the features of four social wills of the human society. Let me have a look at a few features that are often used in the states. The hatred feature of the will of virtual individual happiness should be prohibited because it can not generate energy but can divert a big amount of energy in a narrow direction for a long time. It is very harmful for all parties. The satisfaction and the response features of the will of virtual individual happiness should be used properly. They are useful in organizing something, but they reduce the original happiness, braveness, etc. They increase directly the social will of group disaster too. The honor feature of the will of virtual individual efficiency should be used properly. It is useful in increasing productivity, but its excessive usage could reduce creativity. The usage of a selfish feature of the will of virtual individual efficiency should be limited. It is useful in increased productivity, but its excessive usage could damage the basic interests of both the states and its members. The usage of enhanced order and enhanced group interaction features of the social will of group efficiency should be limited. They are the cornerstones informing the states, but they increases also the social will of group disaster directly and indirectly. I should point out that the two features of the social will of group efficiency are the basic instruments of a state's government. The social elite love to use this instrument. The social elite should always keep in mind that the enhanced order features increase the social will of group disaster indirectly, and the enhanced group interaction feature increases the social will of group disaster directly. It means that the two basic instruments of a state's government or the social elite always bring the risks to the states and its citizens. It is just a general rule and has nothing to do with the political system of the states and the political motivations of the social elite. With this remark, I would like to close part 2 of video series 3. Thank you for your attention.